Welcome to the gold standard, Making Millions with Malia, the place to be for conscious CEOs and light leaders who know that they have an enormous mission that requires millions to fuel it. I am your host, Jennifer Longmore, Clear Channel for Mother Malia, along with being a long-standing 8-figure CEO, investor, and board advisor who is committed to creating as many conscious millionaires as I can in this lifetime, and to debunk the broke healer paradigm that tells you it is not benevolent to make millions doing spirit-led work. We are in the midst of individual and collective ascension, and as we ascend, so must the way that we do business and money as light leaders. That is what this show is all about. So tune in now and find out why we are ranked in the top 5% of global podcasts and why savvy CEOs just like you binge our show each week and share it as a high-value resource with their communities. Now let's dive into today's Making Millions broadcast. Welcome back, everyone, to the Gold Standard Podcast, Making Millions with Mother Malia. As you know, I am your host, Mother Malia, and we are diving into part 2 of the 20 lessons I've learned in 20 years of business. Goodness, that is a mouthful, isn't it? So welcome back. I hope that you had a chance to listen to part 1. If you didn't, don't worry, you won't be missing out on anything because these are timeless business lessons that I'm sharing, and they're in no particular order. They are just pulling together various things when I think about what are some lessons perhaps that really flicked me in between the eyes, or the ones that were costly, or the ones that I needed to repeat multiple times before I learned my lesson. You know what I'm saying? You probably have a similar things going on in your business as well at some point. So regardless of where you're at in business, everything I'm sharing is really applicable for the most part. So we ended part 1 at number 10. So we're going to dive in today to number 11, which is that your need to be needed will determine the caliber of people that come into your world to be served. And so looking back, of course, I will not have known this at the time. It was even applicable in my social life as well. And to give you a little backstory, I was raised by narcissistic parents. I don't begrudge them. I don't have resentment. They were the perfect parents for me because they taught me how to really create a wonderful service-based business, didn't they? Because I really knew how to put everyone else's needs first and how to really serve, how to listen, how to be attentive, etc. Except that, as you know, when you are raised by a narcissist, you are taught to make it about everyone else at the expense of yourself, to be in servitude. And so in my social life, in my dating life, etc., I didn't know that I was valuable just as I was. Now, of course, intellectually, you could have told me that, but if I look back at my actions, that was not the case, because I felt that I needed to do things and I needed to overdo. I needed to do more and more and more in order to prove my worth. I needed validation, didn't I? Now, well, if you had have told me back then that I was needy, I probably would have been very offended. But looking back, I can see that, and I see this, by the way, with many people in the service-based business, especially, they don't mean to, but when we are unhooking, most of us have been raised in codependent families. So, of course, we then spend our business years unhooking from codependency, right? And on top of that, we are usually filling a need with a service-based business, And so there's nothing wrong with filling a need per se. It's about, are we doing that from a place of codependence or from a place of sovereign to sovereign, right? And so I had very needy clients when I first, and I'm not judging them. You get what I mean by that. But that's because I really needed to be needed, which also made me needy. But I was in the VPR triangle, victim, persecutor, rescuer triangle. I was really trying to rescue people. But I'm sure on some level, I was trying to rescue myself from certain things, And so as I really moved into sovereign to sovereign, the caliber of people I attract and the issues, I shall say, I attract, meaning what people are bringing to my doorstep to have me help them solve, are very different because I don't need to feel responsible for people's results. I don't need to feel responsible for them. I allow them to receive or not receive what they want to receive out of their container that they are investing in, right? Especially if you consider groups, everyone has access to the same amount of time, the same information, etc. Some will really go to town with it, and others pretty much ghost you, so to speak, and everything in between. There's a point where we have to say, okay, people are going to get the results that they want to get and choose to get from our spaces, right? And our need to be liked, our need to be needed is going to feel very crunchy if people are not getting results. If you can allow people the space to show up for themselves if they so choose, you will actually be amazed at the results people can get. So that was a bit of a bomb to start with, I suppose, wasn't it? We like to go deep around here, I suppose. So let's move on to number 12. Your mastery is in learning how to create pristine conditions for all that you desire, right? So if you are wanting more money, then are you being an impeccable steward of your money? If you want more clients, are you being an impeccable steward of your business? If you want a certain type of body, are you being an impeccable steward of your body? It all stands to reason that we must really look at how pristine, how clean, how pure are the intentions and the conditions that we are creating for the results that we desire. Is there any misalignment? And moving on to 13, your mastery is also in accepting the role of being an impeccable steward of your resources. Only you can be an impeccable steward of your time, your money, your energy, and your attention. And your most precious resource, moving on to 14, is your attention. So are the controllers on the world stage getting your attention? Is Netflix getting your attention 8 hours a day? Are all the reels that joyfully show up on your Facebook page or Instagram or whatever for hours a day getting your attention? Are you then also complaining that you don't have the results that you want? Right? We see this a lot with people. Your attention becomes your intention. So what gets your attention becomes your intention. If your attention is always on lack, then it is your intention to be in lack. If your attention is on what everyone else is up to, then it is your intention to compare and despair. You see where I'm going with this. Your next most precious resource is your time. You can never replace that. You can bend it, you can expand it, but you can't create this exact same day that you're listening to this transmission right now. It just isn't going to happen. Money can be created. You do require stewardship of it, but you can create more of it. And you can create an unlimited supply of energy, right? So time and attention, I'm going to say really right up there, and then everything follows suit. Number 15, and you've heard me share this before, when you put your mission before your monkey mind, the money flows with ease. Whenever I have tried to get ahead and say, oh, that is a quicker way to make money, I like that, it always flops, always, and usually leaves me feeling irritated and resentful, frankly. Well, that's more my human part from the past, But I certainly have examples over the years of for example, when I put my mission before my monkey mind, when I first started my business, I all of a sudden was surprised when I went to the bank and saw that there were 6 figures in that account because I was not counting money at all. I literally had no idea how much money I was making. I just knew that I had enough to pay the bills and I had some overflow. I hadn't actually looked at it in the eyes because I was still very averse to looking money in the eyes back then to say, okay, how much is actually coming in? The moments I have been presented with opportunities to make money quicker or to create new streams of revenue, it usually came at a cost and didn't make me feel very good. And it would kind of plateau my money. So now I imagine I have a money garden and I plant things in there. And I love to plant things that compound quickly and cross-pollinate. If you are gardeners, you will know that there are certain plants that you can plant that really will take over your whole garden. And in your garden, maybe you don't like that, but in your money garden, you will, you will want it to all of a sudden be sprouting in places you didn't even expect. Yeah. And so let's really allow your monkey mind to take a really quiet backseat to your mission. Because when you put your mission before your monkey mind, the money just flows. You will not be given a mission without the resources to support it, including money. Because money really does just accelerate the mission, doesn't it? Yes, of course, you can spread your mission without money, but you're going to have to be far more creative, and you're going to have to call in a lot of favors, and you're going to have a very rich Rolodex. And I don't mean monetarily, although that could be the case, but you're going to need to really prioritize relationship building so that you can have your relationship currency help you spread your mission. But even at that, you don't want to burn out your Rolodex, so to speak, because people love to help, but they don't like to help in one-sided situations, you see, over time. Number 16, trends will come and go. I've been in business for 20 years. I can really, 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 really attest to that. But when you clear your channel and trust it, you can channel your exact moves to 8 figures just like I did, right? We can tune in and use your channel to say, will this trend serve my business? Will it not? For example, I think it's great if people are dancing on TikTok reels and other such reels, if it works for their brand, great. For me, it does not feel aligned for me. It does not feel congruent with the brand. And I will imagine if you think about it right now and you were to see me dancing on a reel and pointing my fingers at little bubbles of words, you will say, oh, why is Mother Malia trying to be like everyone else? Or I just will not have expected that, that kind of thing. Back in the day, teleseminars used to be a thing. Now, those are the shoulder pads, I shall say, of the online world. And then they became telesummits, and then they became the shoulder pads for a bit. And then when the world went into lockdown, they had to make a comeback, etc. Memes have evolved over the years. Reels never used to be a thing. Now they're a thing. You see what I'm saying? So very few of the trends will stay. And so by the time you figure out a trend and throw money at it and study it and spend time and attention, etc., perhaps hire team members, it's probably already going to be on its way out. And so visionaries and empire builders, we tend to zig when everyone else is zagging. That is going to be your money maker. So when you see everyone following a certain trend, you can just ask yourself, how can I do the opposite? Or not even opposite to be ornery, of course, but how do I get out of the bubble and operate outside of the bubble, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. So that leads me into number 17. We're doing all of this, of course, to bring people into our world. But what I really love for you to know is that despite whatever the internet may be telling you right now, most people, there's a lot of flashy metrics and this person got result and my client just did this, etc. Most of them are insincere. Most of them are blatant lies or two truths and a lie. Most people that will come into your world will not get results, or at least get the results you would like them to get. They will get what they need, but usually they don't want what they need. They want what they want. You get what I mean? They are not in your world often for the same reason that you are, meaning that you might think, oh, yes, I'm going to mentor this person to 7 figures, but they might be coming into your world because they're looking for a parent, a boss, or a buddy. So they have some unmet and misdirected needs that they're coming in. So it's going to be challenging for them to get results because they're not there for the same reasons. You're there for business coaching purposes. They're there for nurturance, other such things, or companionship, etc. Some people will feel entitled to get results simply because they swipe their credit card. Some people may be choosing comfort over growth. So they really want to grow. But when they weigh out both sides of it, they say, no, I'm going to choose comfort. I'm not quite ready for growth. So all that you can do is your best. And your best is going to change from day to day. Allow them to receive what they are choosing to receive as the sovereign being that they are. Now, your brain might be saying, yeah, but what about? Of course, there are a small percentage of people out there that make promises and don't keep them, right? So, for example, I have offered many business masterminds over the years to people that make less than 10K a month. And there will be a whole library of trainings in there. But if they're not self-led, no matter how many times I say, go listen to the module on how to do a sales call, go do, whatever it is, they won't do it. They won't listen. They won't apply, or they will listen and they don't apply it. They will listen and they will not implement because they still feel entitled to get results for swiping their credit card. They assume that just joining the program is enough to get results. Now, intellectually, they might say they realize that's not the case, but their actions demonstrate otherwise. For example, that is just one example, of course. The same will happen in your world. So in my world, in those past containers, I was available through email. I was available live on calls all the time. I will say constantly, what are you working on? How can I help you? Crickets, right? But they will not get results. Most times they will know why and they will admit it, but that doesn't matter because in a few months when they decide that they're resentful that they spent money yet again with yet another mentor, not getting results, you can fall out of favor with those people, right? But yes, there are a small percentage of people out there that knowingly make promises with no intention of keeping them. We are talking about you really wanting to do right by people and understanding that a very small percentage of people will get results. Anyone that gets results is because they desire a mentor. They didn't need a mentor. People need you. You can already rest assured that those results are going to be choppy. If they know they're going to get there anyways, but with your help, they're going to get there 10 to 20 times quicker, those are the folks that get results because they've already decided. They just are asking you to be the rocket fuel, basically, you see? So, side note, you need to also learn how to speak to those people, especially for your close proximity containers. Number 18, your income leaps have far less to do with the mechanics and the strategies, etc., and far more to do with the decisions and conversations that you are avoiding. So your income is going to leap to the degree that you are willing to make the decisions you've been avoiding and the conversations that you don't want to have, including with yourself. Yeah, I know, but that is how it is. It is leadership. The more we increase our leadership IQ, the more money we are going to make. There are, of course, many people that have high leadership IQ that don't make a lot of money. But in business, when the only cap on your income is you, literally the sky is the limit, so to speak, the reason that you are not making income that is as high as the sky is because you are not making decisions that you know you need to make. Sometimes, in fact, a lot of times it's about what you're willing to let go of and who you're willing to let go of. And then, of course, the conversations you're not willing to have with team members, with clients, with yourself, with colleagues, etc. Which leads me into number 19. You hold more money to the degree that you hold more leadership and higher standards, right? So if you are afraid of being the boss because you're going to be bossy, you can expect your income to cap. If you are afraid of being judged and mocked and maligned because you are being accused of having too high of standards, no, your standards are not too high. It is that many are not even willing to require much of themselves. So any little tiny thing you require of them feels like the biggest ask in the world. I promise you, you don't have high standards. But even if you believe you do, you are allowed to have them without justification. There are people that will want to work with you because you have high standards. And there are people that will want to be a team member on your team because you have high standards. But if you are not willing to, the only people that benefit from you abdicating your leadership and distilling your standards are those that are wanting a parent, a boss, or a buddy. That's just as plain as day. And number 20, and I cannot stress this enough, your business is going to be your biggest growth vehicle. So appreciate it for being it's your best catalyst for healing, for growth, and for leadership. It is going to kick up the issues in your money tissues. It is going to kick up the issues in your relationship tissues. It is going to bring forward past trauma, isn't it? It is going to bring up more leadership, and it's going to force you to deal with your relationship with groups. If you were always picked last at recess for playing group sports, you're already deciding you're going to be picked last in client attraction, so why bother? There are just so many things that can be kicked up for you. Even if you are a high achiever, there's going to be things associated with that. So you can avoid that. Your business is going to poke at the things that need to be healed anyways. It just is. They need to be healed, whether you have a business or whether you have a job or whether you stay at home or whatever the situation is. Your business is going to poke at them to the point that you can no longer avoid dealing with them. And that is why we have a push and pull, up and down, in and out, want to burn it to the ground. Now I'm in love with it again, sort of relationship with our business. That is your relationship with yourself, with your past, with others, etc. So let it be beautiful. Be grateful for it. You are getting paid to heal yourself. You're getting paid to grow. You're getting paid to calibrate your leadership. Any other time in your life, you have had to pay to go. Let's say you went to university, you had to pay to get a degree. You are getting paid to grow by having a business. So let's be in gratitude for that. Ooh, that was a lot to go over. There will be so many other things. And if you've been listening to my podcast, there are always going to be golden nuggets that I try to drop because I really want this podcast to feel like it is of high value to you. I want it to feel like micro master classes basically every time you tune in. I want to bring you guests that are going to add value to your life, give you food for thought, introduce you to people that may help you in your journey as well. And so I would love to hear from this two-part series, what really popped for you? What lessons have you already learned? And which ones are you in the midst of learning, where I just kind of highlighted that a little bit more for you? And additionally, what would you add to the list that I did not include from your own years of being in business? Now, additionally, if you are wanting to keep using your business as a vehicle for your own personal growth, we can certainly work together one-on-one or in my Council of Light Leadership hybrid mastermind and basically boardroom table for light leaders like you to really get to a place where we are running multi-million-dollar missions, okay, to reclaim our planet and restore heaven on earth. So if that feels appealing to you and you're not available or not aware of what's available, I shall say, then feel free to just message me on the social media or clientcare@souljourneys.ca. One of my team members will be happy to get on a call with you to explore what may be a fit. We are never going to offer, it's never going to feel like a sales call. We genuinely want to hear what's going on for you. And if we have things in our suite of offers that we feel will be of high service to you, only then will we say, this may serve you and here's how this can serve you. You will not be pressured to make a decision on the call, etc., etc. These are no strings attached. Let's have a call to see where you're at, to get really clear, and to make sure that you are not throwing good money after bad, to make sure that whatever you're going to invest in, that you're going to get ROI, whether it be with us or another company. So again, just message us on social media or clientcare@souljourneys.ca and ask for your complimentary $1 million mission call, and we will help you get clear on that. So between now and the next time we chat, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and your week, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening. Before you go, if you would like to have a chance to have your name and business featured on the Gold Standard podcast, hop on over to where you listen to this podcast and leave a review. If you're selected, you'll have your name and business featured on our show. And in the meantime, we wish you tons of financial blessings, and we'll see you soon for the next Making Millions transmission from Mother Malia.